This is live.
No, I don't swear. Never swore on radio in my life. Skippy, however. Remember
Welcome
Skippy?
to Friday at 4:20. I'm Mike Neighbors, your host for the next 40 minutes as we play a little game here with some local comedy legends, and we have an actual official legend in the studio with us. As usual, joining our panel for this fun little game, local comic legend, Mr. Patrick Capolino.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Also in the studio, I can't wait to hear what Manolis decides to do when you do Buongiorno. And Manolis going to say, hey, it's Manolis Antanos.
Tikanis. That means hello.
Oh, okay.
In Greek.
Thank goodness it doesn't mean something else. Appreciate you guys being here, and we have a very special guest. As we always like to do, we always have a guest comic from the local Hamilton scene. This guy, we could say, is the local Hamilton scene. Built the local Hamilton scene. Awesome to catch up with you again, Mr. Donnie Coy.
Bueno.
Bueno.
Nice to be here. Nice to see you.
Well, it's awesome to see you. It's been
Hello,
a while.
Hamilton.
Yes, it's been a while since I've caught up with you, and
Yeah.
you keep up with these guys.
Well, Manolis is. I've adopted Manolis as my manservant, son, part-time special friend, special favor.
Excellent.
Treated me great. The only guy that bought me anything for my birthday.
Oh, wow. Was that recent?
Yeah, it's my birthday month.
Oh,
It was
okay.
June 11th, a week ago today.
Oh, excellent. So you had a wonderful birthday. Manolis
I had a
showed up.
phenomenal birthday.
What did you
Manolis
get?
showed up with gifts, booze, which is most important.
Right.
He knows when he's coming to my house to bring booze. I'm still a famous alcoholic. Don't try this at home, kids.
It is great to have you joining us for our game here, Donnie. And
My pleasure.
Manolis, talk to me a little bit about what Donnie Coy meant to your career, because I know that's part of the reason you're his manservant now. Is he helped you out along the way?
Donnie, well, I was lucky enough to get a lot of spots earlier because of Donnie, because he needed rides everywhere because he likes to drink.
Still do.
And I needed stage time.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna let you tell. I always mess this up. I remember one time I went through the stage where I just got promoted, and I was having hot and cold shows, and he told me, you gave me that advice about the audience and a dog.
Yeah, I told him, just every time you go out there, before you tell first of all, make sure you know what you're going to start with. Don't stare. I go, right now, it looks like you're staring, like you broke into somebody's house in Ancaster, and you're staring at a pair of Doberman pinchers that are about to rip your face off. I said, so what you do is you stare down the Doberman pincher, you wake up, you walk up, you put out your hand, you pat him on the head. You go, the whole audience's tail will wag.
Right.
Then you do your first joke.
There you go. So
And
you
then
sort
I
of
go,
tame them.
exactly. You'll have them in the palm of your hand, and then even if the rest of your stuff is mediocre, they're going to think it's the funniest thing they ever heard.
Has that been the trick for you all these years?
That's a trick I taught myself, actually,
Right.
but I was happy to pass it on to Manolis. I tried passing it on to Patrick, but he pretended he didn't speak English because he hates dogs
Back to Buongiorno.
and babies.
Buongiorno.
What did it work for you, Manolis?
Yeah, I was like, it was kind of a changing point in like my stand up, and it just started being more consistent
Right.
on a regular basis. Because it's a big jump when you finally become like this comedian where like, oh my God, people are paying now. You're not just doing a guest spot.
Right. Yeah,
And,
you feel there's more pressure, right?
Right.
Because now they're make me laugh, funny boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I got over that hump where it's like, hey, it's like it just helped me still be silly and fun and relaxed.
But I still made my ex book him as my middle act or opening act because I needed a ride.
Because you needed the ride.
Yeah.
So
he got to work in London and Windsor and everything else all because of me.
because he had a car.
And he was darn funny.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what? He is. Patrick is, and of course, we are counting on you to be just as funny
used
as
to be.
always. Yes.
I used to be.
Well, we're going to bring you out of retirement.
I'm gonna dust it off for your Wheel of Fortune game here.
That's fantastic. We're going to play this little game. Yes. So here's how Friday at 420 works. We have a wheel with 12 numbers on it. I have 12 official Bell Media envelopes with random topics. What happens is each comic will get to spin the wheel. You'll get the random topic. We'll give you a second to digest it, and then you can start telling us a story about that topic, telling us something you hate about it. And then as soon as you've started, the other comics can come in and try and steal your time, which I know, Donnie, you would not want.
No, I would hate that.
Don't take my time.
I'm a hog.
So we're going to get started now, and since Donnie's our guest of honor, we absolutely have to let Donnie Coy be the first wheel spinner. That's a pretty fancy wheel, isn't it, Donnie? It's
wow.
Exciting.
I know, it's a high-end show.
Number eight. Number 8, Donnie.
Number 8. Donnie Coy selects random top. Well, you didn't really select it, but you get it.
You're actually serious. You went through all those envelopes to find number 8.
I literally have envelopes. They literally have. Oh, what an interesting topic to begin with, considering our conversation we just had. Donnie Coy, your thoughts and/or stories about mass transit.
I think Donna Skelly is all wrong.
He goes political out of the gate.
I refuse to support her. I think that our mayor is doing a great job. How do you turn down $8 billion so people can get from the mall to the university? Because we all know every university kid lives at the mall.
That's right.
And mall people just love university.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Back and
so
forth.
You are an LRT supporter.
I am an LRT supporter as long as there's a Tim Hortons at every stop.
Okay.
I'm getting in as many plugs so I can get free stuff after the show.
That's about all you're getting paid for this. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to get that free stuff.
Plus the booze Manolis is going to buy me after the show.
Yeah, right. He was promised.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal today.
That is awesome. This is the first person we've paid with booze.
Exactly.
Okay, excellent.
Wow. The first one you'll admit to.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, we've plied some with booze, but that's a whole other
Nah.
thing. With regards to mass transit, your mass transit is sitting next to you.
And my mass transit's sitting next to me, especially when his fat friends are in the back seat.
Mass
Body
Calling me
mass.
fat?
mass transit. So it's like transit is like moving around.
No,
right?
it means going.
like getting places.
It means going to the church.
Yes.
That's
You're going
right.
to
it's
mass.
to mass.
I have something I can say that relates to mass transit. I was mass transing.
Now that you know what it is.
Yeah, I think I was mass transing Donnie here to Mississauga for the weekend, and he says to me on the Sunday or on a Saturday night, he's like, "What time's the show tomorrow?" And I was about to say 8
It's
o'clock.
a true story.
Right.
I was about to say 8 o'clock, and Donnie, he cuts me off. He goes, "Is it 9?" I go, "Yeah, Donnie, it's 9." And he goes, "Okay, well, let's leave at no, it was the other way. You thought it was
8.
8. I'm all confused now. I was about to say he thought it was 9. So yeah, I said, let's leave at 7. So I picked up about 6:30, got him there by
after
7.
7.
10 after 7. The show didn't start till 9. He was headlining. He goes in the club.
2.5 hours. I go in the club. Only the manager. The cooks are asleep in the kitchen. The chairs are still on all the tables.
And he's got you there for the show.
Yeah. So
I come out just swearing. I won't hear.
Manolis!
Cursing. He's sitting in the car laughing.
Did you know the show started at 9, not 8 o'clock? And I'm like, Donnie, you told me 8. So I got him there like 3 hours. Yeah, I got 3 hours ahead of time. I was there too, 3 hours ahead of time, but I loved it.
Ironically, I got drunk that night because I had 3 hours to kill, so I had to go to Swiss Chalet, another plug, and then the Irish pub because Swiss Chalet kicked me out because it was family night.
Because they ran out of booze, probably.
Probably.
Black Russians.
Everybody runs out of Kahlua.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your drink of choice.
That is. Someday I'm going to be famous in Mexico. They're going to build a statue.
They're going to build something to Donnie.
Right now it says 1916, I think, or 1936 on the screw top. It's going to say Coy.
Coy, Donnie Coy's. When you purposely let him there early. You were fine with that because you wanted to have the.
I just wanted to make him so upset because Donnie's the kind of guy, like, if the show starts, like, if he had to be on stage at 9, he wants me to drive the car into the club at like 8:59.
Right.
Exactly.
And like him to get out of he wants to get out of the car.
It's an old show business trick. I don't want to be pacing in the back. Or,
No.
So I knew. I just
get in there and have a drink ready. I'll just grab it, walk right on the stage, and go, "Good evening."
It's like 7.
everybody.
How about those guys that were just up here? Weren't they great?
He's like, we'll leave at 7. I go, 7? What if there's traffic, Donnie? Because there's a Mississauga. We'll leave, let's leave at 6:30. And next, so there, I'm at his house at 6. And I drove as fast as I could to Mississauga. And next thing you know,
Patrick's here too. He's allowed to talk.
Patrick jumps in when he decides he's got something to add. Bonjour.
Patrick has a thyroid problem.
Bonjour.
But
Patrick
yeah,
has a thyroid problem.
yes, that's why he's a little slow
Are
today.
you a little slow today because of the thyroid?
I don't think he knows what that means. He just says it all the time.
He just says it all the
He
time.
thinks he was the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
If we're at like
No thyroid.
a red light and there's people crossing the crosswalk and if they're not fast enough for Manolas, he's like, look at all these people with thyroid problems.
You just think the thyroid is in. Isn't
Yeah.
He honks at wheelchair people.
Because I had a thyroid problem apparently when I was a kid, so I don't know, like stuck in my head. But I don't like it when people walk across the street slow. When you're like, say, if you're waiting to turn right,
Right.
it's like, come on, dude, well, go across the street. Like, I do it. People don't think like, oh, I don't care. It's not my problem.
You do know some of them, you absolutely feel like they are absolutely taking their time on purpose.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
And it's very frustrating.
Same with
Right.
drivers in front of you.
Right, yes, they are.
They know you're in a hurry. They just go out of their way to make sure you can't get by them.
You're listening to Friday at 420, our game show every Friday afternoon. Our special guest is Donnie Coy. Of course, Manolis Santanos, Patrick Coppolino are here in the house. The first topic this afternoon was mass transit. Patrick, just recently, did you end up taking a bus to Ottawa? Because I saw
did.
you fishing around for a ride on Facebook.
Yeah.
So how did the bus ride to Ottawa
It's
treat you?
awful.
Was it awful?
I don't think I've taken a Greyhound before. So it was the way there was 9-hour trip because there was there was a bunch of stops on the way, and but I got there. I was waiting outside for the bus to show up so that I could be the first one on the bus.
Pick your seat.
And sure enough, the bus pulls in. The driver comes out. I show him my ticket, and he's like, "Oh, did you get it signed inside?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, there's a lady in a yellow coat. You got to get her to sign it." And I was like, oh, crap. So I go inside. I see everyone else in there.
Oh.
Now, all of a sudden, I went from front of the line to back of the line because everyone else knew, apparently.
That they had to get it signed.
Yeah, so I went in. So then I got stuck in the very last seat, which was the middle aisle at the very back, which is right beside the toilet.
Yeah.
So I was there for 9 hours. It is not, the smell wasn't the worst part. I wanted to sleep, and I couldn't because that wall, I guess it's right at the back of the bus, it gets really hot. So the entire bus, except that spot, is air conditioned. So that was awful. And then it was kind of the same deal on the way back. But it was less. It was like 6 hours. It was more tolerable, yeah.
Right.
It's not easy, right?
I'll never forget. Same thing going to Ottawa, and in Toronto, I thought, great, I'm first in line. I stood there at the old Greyhound station, but I was like second in line. My bag was first in line. The guy opens the door. The kid throws my bag in the luggage. I go, great. The guy takes my ticket. I go on. Well, apparently he stopped like in, I don't know, Mississauga, like 5 times. The bus was half full already. When I got on, the entire front was full. I like to sit right up and keep my eye on the driver because you never know. Half of them are terrorists, right?
Sure. So let's go with that.
Okay.
I wound up, just as I go to sit beside some gorgeous lady, I get bumped by her husband, like he wanted to sit with her. And next thing I know, I'm sitting beside some old has-been. Oh, wait, I was the old has-been.
Sorry, I got that confused.
Yeah. Spin the wheel.
You know what? I'm just going to quickly share with you my Go Transit story because I was coming back from the CNE and I was classic. I was really drunk. It was late at night, and I got on the Go bus and I sat right near the front for no apparent reason. I just grabbed the seat and anyway, we're halfway to where I was living at the time, and I threw up.
Oh,
I mean, it was
boy.
like one of those.
Oh, no.
On the bus?
It was on the bus. Yeah, it was horrible. So the bus pulls into the station, and so everybody is getting off the bus, and I'm kind of delirious, so I don't realize it, and they're all just. I'm getting cursed out by people because they got to get off the bus and they're looking at me and I'm a mess. And so they all get off the bus and they get on another bus that's going to take them the rest of the journey. So I realize I'm the last guy. I get off the bus. I go over to the new bus and he goes, "Not you, mister."
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, yeah.
No
So
way.
You were stranded
I
there?
was stranded and I was
What'd you do? Take a cab or?
I was, yes, I did. A very expensive cab.
Yeah.
I was still 3 towns from where I needed to be.
How long was the ride to after you puked? How long did?
It's about another 30 minutes.
So the
Wow.
smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's mass transit, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good topic. Manolis, want to spin the wheel for
Oh yeah,
us?
sure. I shouldn't have spin it that hard.
Oh, 8. Mass transit.
I'll go to 7. I just moved it to 7.
Go with 7?
Why don't you
All
just
right.
spin it again? It's more fun.
Because
go.
it's like
Takes
took
too
like,
long?
Yeah, it was like 20 seconds. Of
Manolis, it's like these topics were written for you.
All right, okay.
Okay, your topic is police search. Oh, go, Manolis.
Oh, you got a good one for
Oh,
that.
you've been searched
I'll tell.
before? Which one?
Okay,
He's
yeah.
having
Well, I
trouble
know.
picking.
Which one haven't you told already?
Yeah, I already told the border one. So
And the seatbelt one?
yeah, I haven't told the seatbelt
Are
one.
you sure?
No,
Yeah,
did we?
You haven't
Did we
told
tell the
the
seatbelt
I
one?
don't know.
you haven't told the driving home from Falls at 10 to 1 in the morning trying to make last call because there was a girl waiting for you at Hess
Oh, I
Village.
remember that. Okay, yeah. Donnie
And
was with
I
me.
happened to be in the passenger seat.
Of
and the
course
co-
he was with you. You were driving.
I was trying to get back to. We were doing it in Niagara
we
Falls.
were doing 70 coming up Fallsview Avenue, and I'm going, Manola, slow down.
No, we're on the highway doing. I was doing a
No,
buck 50.
Fallsview. Leaving the falls, we were doing 70.
okay.
We were doing 125 or 130, almost 140.
We were doing
time we hit the
150.
QEW.
Oh,
And then Grimsby, sure enough, I go, told you. And then him, instead of pulling to the right, pulls to the left.
I get a cop.
The cop goes, he's trying to kill us all here?
So I'm like,
Tell him what you told the cop. I can't believe
Yeah.
to this day you told him that.
all right. I'm driving.
Clean it up.
All right, can I tell it? I'm doing one. At one point I'm doing some between 150 and 160. I'm just trying to get to Hess really quick, or just back to Hamilton, and it was an unmarked cop car, obviously, and so I saw the lights, and then I pulled over to the left like an idiot. But there was a lot of space. But that's the first thing's like,
So you're in the fast lane, so you pull over
All the
on the
time.
shoulder.
I should have pulled off to the highway on the right.
Yeah.
I pulled off the left.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bad. It's like,
Oh,
and
that's going to really upset him.
It did.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Is there a particular reason? Is there a particular reason you were doing 150 on the highway right now?" And I was like, I felt like it was over, so I just gave up and just told him the truth. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get to Hess. There's this girl there. I think if I get there in time, I can get a blowjob.
Oh, wow.
And he goes,
Couldn't you have said BJ?
I'm sorry, BJ. I
Sure,
could
we'll take that back.
So I could get a BJ, and he goes, what? I think I might get laid, man. So I'm like that. That's why I was in a hurry, and he started laughing, and he goes, hang on a second, and he comes back, and goes, all right, just slow down, buddy. And I'm like, and then he looks at Donnie though, and he's like, you been drinking? I'm like, and there was like a red cup that Donnie.
I take a traveler wherever I
Right,
go,
sure,
right?
yes.
There wasn't
You're not
pop in
driving.
that cup. No.
Yeah. So he's like, no. I go, no. I go, no. It's empty, which wasn't a good answer, but I just said it's empty. He's like, okay, just all right, just go, just drive slow. I'm like, okay, and then that was it. And I was
That
like,
was it?
and
You were
then
gone.
I was gone. And he didn't get, and Donnie was more like, I think you were more pissed.
I said,
than
I
happy.
can't believe, how do you get off telling the cop the truth? First of all, about sex. Second of all, pulling off to the left. Third of all, there's no booze in my glass. You don't even get a warning. I go,
plus-
if that was me, I'd be in cuffs by now.
That's right, you would have been.
But I was definitely like, it was like between 150 and 160. I was doing. But you know how the cars are, like they don't, you don't.
No, how
And then,
They don't
to finish,
feel
it- finish the story, he drops me off. I lived on the mountain.
like pushing out as he drove by.
It's now like 1 in the morning. He's hoping she's ordered like for him for last call or something.
Right.
I said, you're not going to make it, buddy. He goes, I'll call you. He phones me not even 8 minutes later. He goes, I'm here. She's here. Everything turned out. I went, oh, that just
That's just royal.
everything. Like that's just a
Just
cherry on
unfair.
top. This is totally
You would
unfair.
have been more happy if I got a ticket.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
No, I would have been more happy if we both had got arrested.
He was most offended that you told the cop that his cup was empty.
Yeah.
Johnny's cup is
Yeah,
empty.
yeah. That, you know what that
Sorry,
does to my
sorry.
reputation?
It's like, I basically told the cop, yes, there was booze in it
Yes,
in the
there
car,
was.
but the
we
cup's
said-
empty now.
We said Pepsi.
I gotta say, I think that the fact that you gave up and just told the truth is the only
The
thing
cop
to
couldn't
save
believe it.
your-
It's like I
save
got
your
to,
bacon.
yeah, I got to give the guy
Yeah.
bonus points for being honest
Just,
with me.
dude, there's a
You know,
girl.
I could
Everybody
have.
understands.
He could have put me through
Right?
tons of paperwork and
Oh.
blood tests and urine tests and
Donnie,
you name
might
it.
still be in lockup as we speak.
Oh hell yeah, I would have for sure, just for knowing him.
Just for knowing.
I told the cop one time he gave me a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt, But before he's like, I gotta give you a ticket, you're not wearing your seatbelt. I'm like, and I go, come on, dude. I just like that. So I said, come on, dude. He's like, no, sorry, man, I gotta give it to you. I'm like, come on, dude. So I can't. I'm like, dude. And he says nothing. I go, dude. Like this. And then a second goes, like 4 seconds go by, and he goes, and he snapped out of it. Like I made him forget that he was a cop. And he goes, no. Like that's how he said it.
Gets all angry.
He got mad at me. I almost got him. Like it was like a Jedi mind trick. It's like, dude.
He called a female cop babe once and wondered why he still got the ticket.
That I got a ticket for. Yeah.
That's not gonna go well.
I was wearing my seatbelt underneath my arm, and no, I didn't call her babe like hun. I called her like because she asked me, "It's like, do you know why the cop was checking you out today? Like, I guess some cop pulled my plate up." And but that cop didn't pull me over. And I said, I answered her like this, and I know this was bad, but I said, well, he didn't pull me over, and I can't tell you what he was thinking. So if you want, maybe we can call him and ask him why he was checking me out. I go, I don't know what to tell you, hon. And he's like, don't call me hun.
Do not call me hun.
That was
it. Ticket. I got a ticket for calling someone hun.
$350 ticket.
It was like $2 something. It was half the normal ticket because I had it on, but underneath my armpit. It was improper use. It's improper use of seatbelt.
Right. You know all the laws, don't you?
I the hard way.
Patrick, you ever run into a police search?
What do you mean police search?
Well, I mean, police, anything to do with the police.
I've been arrested a couple times.
Been arrested a couple of times. You care to share one of those stories?
Yeah, there's one time. I won't say it wasn't too crazy. It was mischief under 5,000.
Mischief under 5,000. That's excellent.
Oh, wow.
Over 5,000 and we would be upset.
Then I wouldn't admit it. But so I spent like a whole day or overnight in jail. In,
that.
Manolis. Thank God, like when I got arrested, I was with a mutual friend of mine in Manolis, so he cares about me less than Manolis. So he told Manolis, knowing Manolis would do something about it.
Yeah.
I just get in there. I have no idea what's going to happen because I didn't know there was a warrant for my arrest. I knew the police were looking for me at Yuck Yucks. So
just that.
They
showed up at Yuck Yucks. It's Patrick Gron.
Yeah. So I went to the station to see what they wanted to talk about, and then I got arrested on the spot. So my buddy was with me. And he tells Manolis, I had a show that night too, so I'm like asking them like, "Hey, do you think I'll be out by like 8:00?" And they're like, "Oh, no."
No.
They laughed at him.
They're like, you bet, yeah. They're like laughing at me, being like, "You shouldn't have turned yourself in if you had stuff to do." I'm like, I didn't turn myself in. I don't even know what's going on right now. So they put me in a cell. It sucked, but the worst part was that like I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know.
You knew nothing.
I knew nothing. I'm just like in a single cell, but it's attached to all these other cells, and I can hear everything. It was like a Saturday too, so I could tell as it was getting later, the more and more. I knew it was after 2 a.m. at one point because just how loud it was getting. It was getting so nuts.
Right.
And that's when Donnie arrived.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of characters in there, and it just sucked because I didn't know when I was getting out. I figured because it's Saturday, I'm probably in here at least till Monday.
Yeah. Did you know when you were in the cell what it was now that they were?
They just said mischief under 5,000, and I didn't know. I didn't even really know what that meant.
Because you were kind of like, which incident are you
referring to?
to?
I knew there was an incident that they were referring to, but I didn't think it warranted arresting me.
Okay.
I thought a conversation would have done.
Yeah, slap on the wrist. That's word. Come on. There's no
But, so anyways, eventually, the night, like, I couldn't sleep. I got my cheese sandwich in the morning, which is, I wish they had Yelp, because I would 1 star for that sandwich.
1 star for the review.
But so then the next morning, finally, they're like, "Oh, someone's gonna. Do you have a phone call or whatever?" So I go. They bring me to the phone booth thing, and I answer it, and it's some like lawyer, I guess, that works for the courthouse.
Right.
And she's wanted to hear what happened and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, well, it sounds like you'll probably get out soon." She's like, "But the only reason you're going to get out," she goes, "Do you know someone who lives at so and so address?" And it was his address.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, "Oh, thank God, Manolis is here."
Manolis is here.
And I have no idea again what time it is. It was probably like 7 in the morning or something.
I had to wake up at 8 to be there for 9 to wait till 10 for the court.
Yeah.
thing.
So then I go back to my cell, and then they bring me back for this video court thing, and they tell me that like Mr. Manolis Santanos is here. Can you acknowledge that he's blah blah blah. I basically I got released under the condition that like I had to stay at his house for like a month.
Wow.
Which you did. You stayed
Yeah.
with me for a month. But I'm like, as soon as they said, I'm like, I'm the only, like, so it's all video court. So all these guys, one after the other, were like going back, all of them back to jail, back to jail.
Yeah, because none of them had someone there.
I was the only
to
one
pick
in
them up.
court. I was the only one. And I go, it's like, Manola's, I go, right here. That's me right here. I go like this, because I was paranoid, like something might.
They were going to miss it.
Like, next thing you know, he's there for another 2 days. Yeah. And then the funny part was just watching Patrick on the TV. Like, he's not in the courtroom himself. He's on actual TV, like a video court, right?
Video hookup,
yeah, and it's hilarious. I'm watching him. And then they said okay, and then I went back to the cop shop to wait for you.
Yeah.
I passed out. I literally, because I was so tired, I just passed out in the cop shop in the waiting room. And you woke me up.
Yeah.
Like an hour.
I'm out. Honestly, I know, like, it sounds so lame. I was in there for, like, I think a total of, like, 18 hours or something.
Yeah.
But that first breath of fresh air.
I was like,
felt so
the
good.
ground.
It was, yeah, because I literally had no idea how long I was going to be in there. So I was so relieved that he bailed me out.
Yeah, that would be hard not knowing. And considering the number of people in the courtroom, that was probably the most people who've ever seen you on TV.
Exactly.
Donnie,
I spent 8 days in Barton Street, and then 3 months. Three months in a halfway house.
Okay.
3.5 months.
I was arrested for the largest Ponzi scheme in the history of Ontario.
Wow.
As the head of it, I started it. Well, I didn't start it, but I carried on from these idiots that I hooked up with in Toronto, and we got busted.
This
in
is the
Oakville.
70s or 80s?
See, 70s, late 70s. Anyways, long story short, 6 months later, I got 6 months or $25,000 fine. Went to local lawyer David Smy. He went to Toronto to the appeals court and got it reduced to 3 months or $10,000. And I went, well, I can't make 10 grand in 3 months.
Right.
So I kissed my wife and kids goodbye. She drove me to the police station. They booked me. My very first night, I'm in a cell with another guy who was just in on a DWI. But he was an older guy, and he thought he was going to lose his job, and he was crying, and I couldn't sleep. The guard came around 2 in the morning, make their first rounds at night, and he goes, can't sleep, Coy? And I went, no. I go, this guy won't stop crying. He goes, do you play euchre? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, one of our guys couldn't make it. We usually play euchre, when everything's quiet.
Yeah.
He goes, you want to be my partner? I went, yeah, okay. So I go into, I swear, all true story. I go into the guards room. Of course, they got it monitored, so if anything goes wrong. And in those days, they give you rollies. You used to be able to smoke in jail.
Right.
They give you little wee bags of rollies. And, it was probably the equivalent of 2 packs or whatever. But anyways, at about 2 hours later, him and I had all the bags of smokes. I had like 6 in front of me. Then he hands me his 6. He goes, I don't smoke. So now I got 12. He goes, you're going to be the most popular guy in the pod tomorrow.
No kidding.
So as I'm getting up to leave, the one cop, the head cop goes, or the head jail guard goes, what are you in here for? And I go, gambling. Is this part of my rehabilitation?
That's so funny.
That's great. So they sprung you for the night to go play some euchre.
Yeah, and then a week later I got sprung and I went to the halfway house in Dundas run by the Salians. I believe it's still there. And they treated me like gold. But I had a day job selling furnaces or reconditioned furnaces or whatever, which most of my calls were at night because people weren't home during the day.
Right.
But that didn't matter. So I got to leave every morning at 8, and I didn't have to come back till like 9 or 10 at night. So I just slept there basically. And then a week later, they went, "Well, you're not cooking here, you're not cleaning here. Go home."
Just go home.
Yeah. So basically, I wound up doing 12 days instead of 3 months.
And you were a reformed man after that?
And I went home full of tobacco.
No.
No, I'd get out at 8. I'd be at home having Black Russian and bacon and eggs by 9.
He goes back to jail drunk every night.
To play euchre.
Yeah, play.
You're listening to Friday at 4:20. Our special guest is Mr. Donnie Coy. It is awesome to have him along. Manolo Santanos and Patrick Coppolino in the house as well. Patrick, these topics are taking a long time. Your turn to spin the wheel. We got just enough time for one more topic before we kick this Friday goodbye.
Come on, 8. 8!
Oh, wow.
Mass transit.
We've already been there.
Want to go 9 or?
Sure, let's go 9.
Go 9. Okay, let's see if we can get something going here, something to cook this up at the end. Best sandwich ever.
So this one, I got arrested a few years ago.
A little cheese thing they serve you in the morning?
Cheese, bread, butter sandwich. Best sandwich?
Best sandwich. You can name the place, or you can just name the sandwich, or you can just tell us how you make the best sandwich ever. You're a food guy.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
cooking. I don't make a ton of sandwiches. I'm really good
Not
at
a
making
sandwich
grilled
guy?
cheese. Well, I love sandwiches. I just don't often
Okay.
think to make a sandwich.
Oh, okay.
But,
I love sandwiches.
before I knew how to cook, I could make a pretty awesome grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay.
But
Anything
no, I'd
special about
say
it?
no. It's just good. It's easy to burn a grilled cheese.
It is. It can be easy to burn it, yes.
No, but I'd say I remember a few years ago I was on this like chicken parmesan kick. So like any restaurant I went to, if they had like a chicken parm sandwich or something, I'd always.
Go for
If
the
it
chicken
doesn't matter
parm.
what else is on the menu,
I
if
don't
they
think I've
had
ever
it.
had a chicken parm sandwich.
Yeah, it's basically chicken parm with bread. But
Okay. Well, that's good.
I don't know. I'd say that, yeah, when you said sandwiches, Boston Pizza's chicken parm sandwich, which they don't sell anymore, so I don't eat there.
They don't sell it anymore. They killed it off the menu. We're the only one getting it.
That's probably
What
it.
about you, Manola's favorite sandwich?
I got once a year because it has enough time goes by and I forget why I didn't eat that sandwich. I used to make my own grilled cheese sandwiches,
Right.
but I would just put extra butter on both sides and then I put double cheese, and then I'd be like, oh, this is so delicious, and then the next day I'd end up going like having diarrhea for some reason.
Wow.
It always
like,
comes down to toilet with
Yeah.
them, doesn't it?
Topic really took a turn for the worse.
I know, and then I'm like, why do I have diarrhea today? I'm like, I realized like because I put like so much butter on it and so much cheese, and it was just I think it was too much for my system, and then I'm like I'm not doing that again, and then a year goes by, and then I forget that I did that mistake, and then, so once a year now it's more of a cleanse.
You don't think you use it as a cleanse?
Yeah, once a year.
Cleansing grilled cheese
Sandwich.
Donnie Coy, favorite sandwich?
My favorite that I make for myself, I still make it at least once or twice a month. Same thing, grilled cheese, but I use garlic butter on both sides, and I put cheese, real cheese, not the processed crap, real cheddar, and then bacon in the middle, and then real cheddar, and then another garlic, and then flip twice till it's just golden brown. My most famous sandwich I ever had, I was still married, and we were on vacation. I'm going to brag again. I was doing the Joan Rivers show in L.A., and we went to Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, and just off Rodeo Drive, Archie Bunker, the guy that played Archie, Carol O'Connor had an Irish restaurant, basically restaurant, a little bit of a pub, but basically a restaurant. And I had the corned beef sandwich. I ordered the corned beef sandwich. It came out like, there's no way, it might as well have been supper. It had to be 5 inches thick anyway, and real rye bread, and the corned beef was steamy. And the waitress was really cute. Anyway, she goes in, takes like 20 minutes. You forget you're talking, you're looking around, celebrities coming in and going. Next thing I turn around, I get tapped on the shoulder. It's Carol O'Connor serving my sandwich.
Wow. Archie Bunker.
Archie says to me, so where are you guys from? And I go, he doesn't sound like Archie Bunker.
Yeah, really.
He didn't have that Brooklyn accent. And
He was acting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we told him Canada, and I said I was here for and he goes, oh, great. Well, say hi to Joan for me. Little do you know that Joan didn't talk to her guests.
Okay.
Well, unless you were Cher or something,
Right,
Right.
right.
So I said I didn't tell him that, and I go, I didn't even meet her. I was there auditioning for her Ed McMahon.
Oh, okay.
To her Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
I came in second, but I made People magazine because I came in second and I was Canadian.
So close.
Yeah, so that's my famous munch, and
That is.
and everybody now that the secret's out can have my grilled cheese recipe.
Yeah, you've got a great grilled cheese recipe. Of course, Patrick has the chicken parm sandwich, and Manolis is on the toilet. So I think really, as best...
You should have put some of that Greek feta cheese in and stuff them up a
As
little.
the topic goes, best sandwich, we're going to make sure that one doesn't come up again.
Yeah.
Manolis?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. We've had a great pleasure having you on the show here, Donnie. It's
Thank
been
you.
great.
And good seeing you again too, Mike.
Well, we just have a couple of minutes left, so I just want to get your take on how comedy has changed as these young guys have taken over the comedy scene. You've witnessed so much running Yuck Yucks here in Hamilton for years.
The last time I did Yuck Yucks, was, what, 2 months ago, I guess? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so. A month ago.
Yeah, a month ago. It was just amateur night.
Yeah.
But I went up and I was only going to do like 5-10 minutes, of course, typical me once I get there and have a few cocktails. But I'm going to be there this Wednesday, celebrating my 69th birthday, and I'm going to headline the show this time. So I'm going to do at least 35 minutes.
That's it.
And make sure you have a step so the old guy can get up this time. Last time it took like 2 cops to get me up on stage.
Hey, yeah, get the lift.
With my back and
The
everything.
changes. What have you noticed with your comics?
Yeah. Anyways,
We'll get him back on track. Thanks, Manolis.
I barely know any of the new guys today. I go back a couple of years, and I just saw him on TV the other night. My new favorite, one that started out with us at Hooters when it used to be free and you'd drop by,
Yeah, I dropped by.
is Mace Galoney.
Mace is awesome.
Mace is just awesome. He's the new face of Hamilton comedy.
Yeah.
Manolis is pretty much taken over my title as the dean of Hamilton comedy, and Patrick's taken over the title of making sure these guys are all working while he works himself. So they're all doing a great job. They really are.
They are amazing.
And I'm here to tell you, kids, if you're funny and you're in grade 12 and you got marks to go to Mac, dump it and become a comic.
There you go. Great advice from Donnie Coy. Forget all that schooling stuff. Who needs it?
And seeing as the young lady that's going to be on your next show just happened to wander in now. I've never met her, but I've heard nothing but funny things about her. I got to tell you my favorite Steve Schuster story of all time.
All right.
Yucks was having a problem with the amateur comics because they didn't get paid. So Mark called a meeting of all the comics, including the ones getting paid, and said, you guys are all bitching about not getting enough stage time. He go, anybody have any ideas how we can work this out? And Schuster, without missing a beat, just leaned into the microphone and goes, get rid of the chicks.
Wow.
And that was the first misogynist comic. And then every comic went, I got to write anti-girl jokes. I got to write anti-girl jokes. And, of course, the women wound up basically taking over Yuck Yucks for a good 2-3 years stint.
It's been crazy.
They were our top headliners.
Over the last few decades, things have really changed. You've always been a part of the scene here, and we certainly appreciate all you
Well,
do for Hamilton.
I'd like to stay part of the scene. I'm only 69.
Well, I know, but that's I got to think 69. That's like the ultimate birthday for you.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's my second favorite number. The other one was "Don't Die."
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Well, hopefully we can have you back again, Don.
I hope you do.
Yes,
I hope I haven't ruined it by bringing these mooks with me.
Well, I believe those mooks brought you.
Oh, that's right.
That's
See,
right.
I'm getting senile in my old age. Forgetful.
All right. We'll keep you on track. Donnie Coy, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Manolis, Patrick, always great to hang out with you guys on Fridays at 4:20. So thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll do it again next Friday at 4:20 right here on your second favorite radio station, 820.